What is going on, everybody? Jake the Bills fan here, and welcome to my in-depth review of the game that happened on Sunday of the Bills versus the Cardinals. Man, it is really hard to put emotions aside like I tried to do on Sunday, and it is even harder when all everybody in sports is talking about is how we got dunked on in our secondary on the end of that play, and how Tua and the Dolphins are coming for the AFC East. But we're not going to talk about that in this video. I'll have a video coming out later this week on why the Buffalo Bills will still win the AFC East. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Again, if you are new here, I am Jake, the Bills fan, and I talk about the Buffalo Bills, all the time. I decided to originally take this channel that was like Pro Football Central and just move it to my team that I am absolutely in love with, and sometimes I hate, but I still love them. And absolutely, there are some things in this game that we need to talk about because, we can just sit here and ignore some things as well, but I believe that there are certain things that we have to definitely take a look at, things that we need to break down, some things that, again, people gloss over and are just like, yeah, whatever. Ultimately, at the end of the game, it didn't do anything, but you can't do that when you're looking at it. You got to look at everything as a whole. So we're going to get right into it. And first, we're going to start off with the good. And this is Josh Allen. This is the good, not the great. Nothing like that. Josh Allen did everything that he could at the end of the game to win it. Josh Allen, while he did throw 2 interceptions, should have been like 5 interceptions, the amount of times that Patrick Peterson could have caught it. I don't blame Josh Allen when it comes to things like the penalties and stuff that happened. Josh Allen was good this game. He wasn't amazing, but with Josh Allen, he is the type of quarterback that sometimes he's going to try to throw it into some windows where maybe it's absolutely ridiculous that he even tries to do that. But, he's the gunslinger out there pretty much. And as much as some of us don't want that, he's going to throw some picks doing that, doing some dangerous, going for the big play type stuff. So Josh Allen in this game did really, really good. You can't really say anything to knock him except some of his decisions, trying to throw it in those windows, like I just said. So Josh Allen at the end of the game did as much as he could. He went down. They scored the touchdown, which seemingly had all of us jumping off of our couches before the inevitable doom that would be DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone. The next one is the D-line pressure. As much as you wouldn't, actually look at it, because there's been inconsistencies with our D-line this whole year. Justin Zimmer was an amazing addition to our D-line. We needed a one-tech big boy that was going to get doubled so that we could put some more pressure on the quarterback. And all of the rushing yards that Kyler Murray got, or not all of them, but most of them, came when our D-line was getting back there and putting pressure on him, and he had to run away. Like, that is legitimately why is our D-line being looked over like that? I think a lot of the problems that were within our D-line was just there wasn't a gel. There wasn't this common theme that everybody was on the same page. A lot of guys, I feel like, were out there doing stuff for themselves, and now it feels like they're more of a team. In the D-line, the last 2 games has really been on its, not like its highest level, but it's definitely been up there with what it can be. We've got so much money tied up into it. They should be doing this every single fucking game. So I'm definitely really impressed with our D-line the last 2 games. They have been able to really get to the quarterback, and hopefully that continues. And right when we're talking about, really good things that happened during this game, our receivers in this game were absolutely amazing. And they really play their heart out. That is another thing that we have to talk about is, just looking at Josh Allen, how these receivers are, and the trust in between the two of them. Josh Allen and his receivers trust each other, and our receivers did amazing. Cole Beasley had to have had one of the best games of his career and one of the best catches of his career ever. Like, Cole Beasley is the man. He is our Julian Edelman. He is our guy, our slot dude who can just do it. He's just like Stephon Diggs said, he is always open. Stephon Diggs, again, worth every single thing that we gave up for Stephon Diggs. Like, it is clear as you look at it that there is one guy on the field every time that Josh Allen is going to see if he can make that big play with, and it's going to be Stephon Diggs. Every single time, like Patrick Peterson today, I mean, he had trouble sometimes covering Cole Beasley, let alone Stephon Diggs. So our receiver core, with John Brown too, don't put this past anything. John Brown went out there and put himself on the line to try to make a big play for us. But one of the bads that I'm going to get to later is the reason why John Brown is, that play is going to be forgotten because of it. The next one is Tyler Bass, man. Like, as much as everybody and all the shit that people have given him, I've always thought that Tyler Bass would eventually get into his own. I have seen some of his games at Georgia Southern. He was definitely a really, really good kicker. As much as my family was like, oh, well, look at the advanced stats. I'm like, he's okay. If we drafted him, I already knew that Stephen Hauschka was going to be out of the building, because if you draft a kicker and he doesn't replace your starting kicker right away, like, what's the point? You wasted your draft pick. You probably could have got him as an undrafted free agent anyway. So definitely Tyler Bass broke his record for longest field goal 3 times in one game, man. Tyler Bass is money. Like, yeah, he has some games where he'll miss 1, or like he at the beginning of the year he missed 2. Like, every kicker's gonna have a day where it's just not their game. So definitely Tyler Bass on the money, really, really good in this game. And then the last thing, our secondary. As much as everyone's gonna shit on it for, oh, DeAndre Hopkins was in triple coverage and all that, don't even listen to that, because our whole game, they beat us on the ground, and except for a few defensive play calls that I didn't really understand, why didn't we stuff DeAndre Hopkins at the line on the Hail Mary? I have no idea, but still, our secondary played out of their minds. Jordan Poyer ended up getting that really lucky bounce from Larry Fitzgerald coming out of his hands as he hit the ground, and from there, I mean, our secondary just made plays, man. Like, they were just locking people down as best as they could, and they were one of the highlights of this game. I'm done with the highlights of the game now. Bad things in this game. Dawson Knox. You know, he might as well have not come back from COVID at all, because he was a liability on the field for us out there. Dawson Knox. If you can't block and you can't catch, get the fuck off the team. Legitimately. If you cannot do the basic things that a tight end should be able to do out on the field, get out of there. We'll call up Tommy Sweeney. We'll call up we will get Jason Kroom back here. I think he's still dating the Pagula's daughter. So definitely we'll just bring Jason Kroom back in, because what the hell is Dawson Knox doing for us out there? Getting rid of big plays with penalties, not catching the ball, going in a direction that causes other receivers to not be able to make their play, and ends up with a Josh Allen interception. Dawson Knox looked absolutely awful out there, and I'm going to say he's one of the contributing factors that led us to lose. Bad. Penalties, man. Oh my God, the penalties. And the one that really, really got me was, or there were actually 2. One was Brian Winters. Why the fuck did we sign this man from the Jets? I get it. He's a vet, all that. He has holding issues. He's literally had this problem since when he's been with the Jets as their starter. They were so happy to get rid of this dude, and we were so happy to bring him in. This dude is buns. Absolute buns. Like, what else can you say? He is cheeks. It is awful. Brian Winters at right guard is a liability. Why? Mitch Morse was active, and I get it, but oh my God, our line should be Dawkins, Ford, whenever he comes back and doesn't get hurt again. Hopefully the bye week really, really helps with that, and he can come back at like almost 100%. But when Ford's not there, Budker. Wish we still had Quentin Spain, but I'm not going to talk about that. And then it should be Morse, and then at right guard should be Feliciano. Yeah, I get it. He can play center. And if we don't have to play Mitch Morse, like coming right off a concussion protocol, because yes, he does have problems with that, we shouldn't have to. But guess what? Brian Winters has his moments, and Brian Winters has these moments where he absolutely kills our drives. It's fucking ridiculous. And then while we're just going to things that are really, really bad, our run defense. All year it has been awful. And I hate the people that say we need to pick our poison. Dude, we let mediocre running backs run all over us. Like, Kyler Murray, I was going to understand that. But legitimately, we let Chris Edmonds and Kenyon Drake, who I feel is more of like your dynamic receiving out of the backfield back, but he can also just kill you right up in the middle as well. And if you're the Buffalo Bills, he's definitely going to kill you up in the middle. So, man, the run defense, absolutely awful. And I didn't put Corey Bojorquez on any of these things because I didn't really want to talk about him. He had one bad shank. Like, it was, oh my God, 12 yards, dude. And he knew it too. He walked off the field with his head in his hand, like his helmet in his hands. Absolutely awful. Probably, he's so lucky that they didn't end up with 7 on that and they only came out with 3. But if he would have actually did his job, they might have ended up with 0 the way that our defense was playing. So then, things to look forward to. Okay, so this game, it shouldn't have ended the way it ended. Coach came out. Coach was fired up at the end of the game. Like, the media was asking him questions. One of the first things he said, like, he looked visibly angry that something was happening. Like that this shit happened. Like, this shouldn't have happened. The Buffalo Bills won this game. But there were things that maybe God, like in my thumbnail from my last video, the hand of God reaching down and touching the ball for DeAndre Hopkins. It was just a game we weren't meant to win. I guess we just weren't meant to win it. And Dolphins fans are sitting there laughing their asses off right now, but they still got to play the Chiefs. They got to play They got to play the Pats again. They got to play the Raiders, who are still an up and coming team. This year, they still got to play us again. Like, everybody's just sitting back, writing the Bills off again. And this is going to make the team hungry. The team is coming out of this game hungry and pissed off. Stephon Diggs, you can bet your ass he's pissed off because he made the play to win the game. And then there was an act of God and they lost the game. So you can best believe that this team is going to go into the bye week, kind of shrug it off a little bit, but it's still going to be a chip on their shoulder. They're going to go out, win against the Chargers. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to do a whole preview video for that. Win against the Chargers, hopefully in convincing fashion, and show that they are not ready to just be put down because of some act of God. And then, hopefully, health. Health is the next thing to look forward to, because the way our defense played, man, AJ Klein, I didn't talk about it earlier, but AJ Klein really has stepped up these last 2 games. Maybe it's Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott haven't been able to really use him the way that he likes to be used, or Tremaine Edmonds is also stepping up. Like, when we get Matt Milano back, which putting him on an IR, I think was probably the best decision because he needed himself, like with that pec injury connecting to the shoulder and everything, like that is a super big injury to have when you're a linebacker who's reaching out all the time to try to get somebody. So definitely, I think putting him on IR was the best chance. Cody Ford, gonna get healthy. Trey White, with that ankle thing that happened last week, he'll have time to get healthy. I already said Cody Ford. John Brown is going to be able to hopefully come back. It was an ankle thing. It looked really, really bad. I thought maybe he had destroyed his leg on that play because he caught it. His leg got down and then he got absolutely smashed. So we definitely have a chance for all of our guys. And Mitch Morse, this gives him legitimately 2 weeks to still recover from the concussion. So there's a bunch of stuff to look forward to going forward. Our schedule still, we do have some tough opponents coming up. Again, we have the Chargers, which hopefully we can steamroll them. We have a beat up San Francisco team who doesn't really look that good at this moment. And then we have to go into Pittsburgh, and that is going to be a hell of a game. So, if you did enjoy this, make sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell notification, know when all of the videos come out. Remember, all Bills, all the time, here on Jake the Bills Fan. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really nice day. This has been Jake from Jake the Bills Fan, signing out. Let's go, Buffalo.